was not my intention to invade her space, but on occasion, her energy seeped through. You can't help those feelings of your children. The other day, I spoke at Colby Memorial Temple in Pasadena Spirituals.
Another reason why I check it.
My topic was
Another reason why I
death,
check
or
it. My truck, the
so-called
microphone is.
Remember, as spiritualists, we believe in the continuity of life. And so my daughter cheered for that day, and she also sang. One of the stories I shared in the talk was this. Not too long ago, I did a phone reading. When I called, 2 women were on the line, an elder woman and her middle-aged daughter. I was surprised because I usually do one-on-one readings, but continued. It was meant to be, is what my thought was. I brought the elder woman's mother and her daughter's grandmother in. She had recently passed. On several occasions, I brought a little girl in who wore a black dress with a white lapel. She was probably around 6 or 7 years old. She had brown eyes and brown shoulder-length hair cut into a bob with bangs. She seemed to have left the earth plane long ago. At first, the clients didn't know who the spirit was, so I just let it go and moved on to whatever else was coming. And then, like 2 or 3 seconds later, the little girl appeared again, so I said it again. Now this time, the mother and daughter had a little discussion about this little girl. And apparently, the mother and grandmother, who is ready to pass, mentioned that there was a little girl that looked just like that. And she was sitting there waiting for her and to take her into the spirit plane. And so after I wrote my talk on so-called death, I asked my daughter if she would read it. And she declined because she said she wanted to be surprised when she was here and hear it for the first time at service. So the day of Sunday service, she stopped by my place and I noticed that she was wearing a black dress with a white lapel. And I was like, oh my gosh. I said to her that she wasn't going to believe this, but one of the stories in my talk included that black dress with a white lapel. And she said, oh wow, that's interesting. One might say it just happened, it was a coincidence. I don't think so. I love the synchronicity, the law of attraction, whatever you want to call it. I wonder if she saw me writing my talk or heard me speaking it aloud while practicing when she crossed time and space in her meditation or dream world. Oh, the scenarios I can come up with. I am a writer, so you know. We are truly one, blessings of love and peace. And so, does anyone here have a connection like that with a person in their life? Go ahead, Darlene. If you want to share the story, it's what my intention was.
My daughter.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
We are one, and she'll know, and I'll know something. She's living 1,000 miles away, and you got to go.
I love it. Anyone else? Go ahead.
My daughter also.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great connection, isn't it? Thank you for sharing that. Alrighty, my next talk. Live in the now. Or my next talk, my next blog, and I guess my next little talk. Live in the now. What does that truly mean? Live in the exact moment that is happening now, 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 now. If we live in the now, how can we truly evolve? We would always live in the same state of being, the present. Interesting enough, when I'm doing readings, Spirit sometimes shows me the rearview mirror, looking into the past. Have you ever noticed how small it is compared to the windshield? If we look in the present, there is no rearview mirror or windshield, which is the road ahead, just the now. The rearview mirror is needed to remind us where we have been and to compare it to where we are now, in the present, and ultimately, where we see ourselves in the future. Do we blindly move forward without a plan? When we do, it becomes unorganized and somewhat of a chaos. Another interesting thought is the present chaos. We need a rearview mirror, at the very least, to be reminded of the lessons we learned so that we can change where we are going. The now is a place someone may need to be because they have not healed or they do not want to make decisions about their future. And it's okay. When they are ready to heal or plan the future, they will. The present does provide peace in the moment, though. So there's not all, less things. If you are truly living in the now, is there anything else? Or is it a facade that keeps you in balance, a type who perches himself on the fence, not able to make a move? The fence is a great place to be, a place to remain stuck. Maybe some people are stuck in the past, and again, there's the reason why that rearview mirror is so small. It's okay to glance back, but do your best not to live there. If we don't have the past and only the present, how do we grow? Some may say if we are in the now, we do not need to be reminded of the past. Erasing the past may affect our future, though. But if we're in the present, the future doesn't exist. Here's a good question. Is ignorance bliss? Any comments on that, living in the now, and what your interpretation is on that? Anyone? And so I know Lycemum has always been a place where people to have conversations and talk about situations and bring openings and allowing people to voice their opinions, and I really would love to hear it. A lot of times when I do my writings on blogs, I repeat things, because it is told that rote learning is the way to really stick it in your mind so that you can really think about something, just so you're aware. All right, here's another one. Healing is the highest form of mediumship. Yes, mediums heal, but healers are a conduit of the healing energies. Healers allow the energies to flow through them to the recipient for body, mind, spirit healing. We healers have faith that the healing needed will take place. Maybe not when we think it should, but in divine order. Incidentally, I am also a Reiki practitioner level 2 and Archimate healer, in addition to a spiritualist healer. Backstory. Shortly after becoming a Catholic certified healer, I didn't realize to offer a hands-on healing session to a client who received a reading. It didn't occur to me, and it's because I have been doing readings for over 4 years and had just started and became a certified healer. I found a woman in a parking lot and asked if she wanted to come back to my office for a healing. She said next time. Since then, I have had a couple of other appointments. I sit and talk with the client about what healing is and how it works. Then I tell them where I will be placing my hands on the shoulders, fingertips touching the temples, and the rest of my hand covering the ears, and hands hovering over the crown chakra and back down to the shoulder. During this one particular healing, I could feel my third eye opening. I thought it was odd because I was always told that giving messages during the healing was a no-no. And not just from here, but from other people that I work with or became attuned with. And so, let's see, where am I? I went with the flow. So the next thing I knew, a woman came to me, and I heard the word mother and spine. After the healing, I sat with the client for a few minutes, and we talked of a couple of books about so-called death that I have liked to recommend. And the first one is The Blue Island, which is a free PDF online. That's The Blue Island. And The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, how my bad boy brother proved to me there's life after death. And so I finally asked if it was okay to share the person who came to me in spirit during the healing, and he said it would be fine. I described the woman, which was his mother, and she had a spine condition. I was so amazed. I have to tell you, as I work in spirit and work with others, I am amazed every single day, thankful and grateful to have the opportunity to help others. You know, they say that we can heal ourselves. All we must do is ask for it, receive it, believe it, and thank Spirit for it. At night before you go to bed, say a little prayer asking for body, mind, spirit healing for the universe. And maybe for you, and put your hands on your chest or stomach or legs. And again, finally thank the universe for healing when you awaken. Yeah, and like that. Anyone have any really neat healing experiences they'd like to share? All right. Let's see. Okay, so this one, I gotta believe I wrote in the midst of winter because of my last line. I don't really put dates on them. I probably should. It's a little late now since I've been doing it for almost 4 years. So I have been to the beach twice in the past 2 days. It's my go-to place when I need to just breathe. I walked in the chilly water about a quarter of the way up my calves, which is to build my immunity according to one of the holistic healing trends that I have, and it works for me. The first day at the beach, it seemed the fog wanted to roll in. I saw the sunlight coming up behind it, so I knew it would be a flash fog of the entire area. Backstory. I always like getting a backstory. I headed to the beach on a beautiful sunny day years ago, and when I got there, the fog rolled completely in. It was surreal. It was like a scary movie was about to happen. I could see about 30 feet in front of me, and the temperature dropped. It was a good thing. I had my sweat jacket in the car, and it was an amazing experience. I just loved it. And the fog made me wonder what was inside of it, or what was on the other side of it. And then it made me think about how some people in the world have become fogged like it's a real dream. And because of who I am, well, and I gotta add here, because I'm a writer, you know, I used to write for newspapers for like, I don't know, 20 years at least. And I've written some books and all that. And so I'm pretty creative. I can think about a lot of things. And also because being who I am, I had to look up the spiritual meaning of fog. I found that fog was about mysteriousness, obscurity, and it kind of makes sense. In the Bible, fog precedes great revelations. Another noted it is the gray zone between reality and unreality, and uncertainty about the future and beyond. Yet another, approaching death. Speaking of signs, vultures happen to be one of my animal totems. For several weeks, I have been seeing circling vultures. One time, 3 times in a day, and in different places. We all know what I thought the first time I saw it. I'm like, yikes. I finally looked it up, and spiritually it means changes. Of course, it was noted that the left brain people think circling vultures have found a pocket of air just right for sorting. Before I headed to the beach the second day, 2 deer jumped out in front of my car in the spiritualist camp. When I looked it up, my personal message, new adventures await you as the way is now clear. You are being gently nudged through this door. There was no fog at the beach that day. And so my go-to site for animal totems is spirit-animals.com if you're interested. I also like Animal Speaks by Ted Andrews and Medicine Cards, The Discovery of Power Through the Ways of Animals by Jamie Sams and David Carson. One of the realities of my fog is that yes, I love you, Florida, and the beach days are great, but we are in the midst of winter. Anyone have any comments about anything? All right. And so here's a good one. I lost my key ring one day. And so my key ring with 4 keys on it disappeared last week. And I'm going to say this was about 2.5 months ago. I was waiting for a friend to pick me up for dinner. We were meeting my daughter at Melting Pot. Now, I decided to go back into my place for a jacket, which was on the front chair. I opened the door, grabbed it, and went back to wait. We went out and had a great time. When we got home, I couldn't find my keys. And so I went straight away to the place where I had a key stash for my apartment. Once inside, I looked for my keys, including emptying my purse like 3 times. My keys were gone. We looked everywhere. We looked in her car as well. And so nothing. I called the restaurant twice because I had called using the restroom. Nothing. Backstory. The same friend that came to pick me up, I was at her house and I set my keys on the table. Her husband came home for lunch. After he left, my keys were gone. We looked everywhere. Finally, my friend, we were getting ready to call like a locksmith to get me in my car or whatever, to see if I left them in the car, right? So finally, my friend called her husband to see if he took my keys, and sure enough, he did. With that in mind, I asked my friend and her husband to check her vehicle again the next day. She said that they tore everything out of it and nothing appeared. I started looking up how to get into my vehicle, and then I remembered I had an extra set of keys somewhere. There were 3 places to leave there. I thought it was great too, because why? I had moved like 9 different times since I bought that car, and I was never so thankful. And so I went to my car, opened the door, and started it. I'm like, yeah, those keys make, like I said, many moves. So still, what happened to my keys? Of course, my daughter and I discussed it. She said the universe is speaking to you, Mom, and we did kind of say it together. And I said, well, what's your take on it? She said, slow down. I could agree to some point. I like my idea better. I have a new set of keys for my new life. And so the backstory, again, the interesting part about all this is I created a guided meditation CD through a friend's boyfriend. When he arrived, he brought a gift from her, a keychain with a goddess. I spied that chain a couple of times and wondered why I would be using it. And the keychain is now part of my new life. And just in case someone found my keys, I call for my energy to be returned to me pronto. You never know who is lurking in the shadows. If you ever lose something, call for your energy back from that item. It's best to play it safe. For now, welcome to my new life with my new set of keys. Let's open some new doors, she said to the universe. And you know what's really fun? And I think my daughter was right. I really do need to slow down. I mean, I'm sitting here with 20 ideas running around in my brain, speaking to you right now. And so, guess what? My friend contacted me the other day, and she sent me a private message. She said, you are not going to believe this. And I'm like, yes, I am. I found your keys. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I gotta tell you something. I knew they were there that whole time. I just knew it. But I'm like, well, you know, because my new set of keys didn't have a battery in it. You know, you gotta get things all fixed up when you go to the dealer, and it costs a lot of money. I have one at my passenger, or pardon me, my driver's side door was the only thing that had a key for it. So I couldn't open my other side door or my trunk without opening my driver's side door. So it was a little bit of a pain. And it did slow me down. So everyone got around.
Someone online said, yeah, every day, so telling her that she needed to get home.
Yeah. Anyone else? Thank you for sharing. Being alone isn't really being alone. We are never truly alone. Spirit loved ones are alone. This is because I know we can claim this one. The other day, a male client came in who had just gotten a divorce from his wife. After a while, it was revealed that he was fearful of being alone. backstory. After my marriage of 25 years went kaput, I was alone for years, or at least I thought it was. It took a minute to get used to this, but in the end, it was exactly what I needed. I still had grown children with a life of their own, and now, of course, everyone knows I have a grandson, yay. And so alone is not a less than good place. Alone allows you to go inside to sort things out, to realize what is most important in your life, to decide how to move forward in life, to learn whatever it is that is needed to be known to you. It can be a scary place to some people. When we have no other human distractions, we are forced to look inside, which may catapult one into a healing process. As we heal old wounds, it gives the opportunity to elevate or evolve, which brings new ways of thinking and being. Sometimes it's not easy being alone. You must learn to like every little single thing about yourself. It's needed for our highest and best. In the alone time, decide who you are in the next chapter of your life, and don't let anyone stop you from achieving your goals. Alone time allows you to meditate and now connect with your loved ones on the higher side. And here on the earth plane too, guides and the creator of all that. It is said that it takes 1 month for every year to not attract that same type of person. So keep that in mind. You're never truly alone. Your loved ones and long quietude. Anything over on that one? And so I want to talk about meditation for a minute because I love meditating. It's such a beautiful place. And when I meditate, I've always been taught to lay in my bed or lay somewhere where it's comfortable. Because I mean, especially now that I'm getting older, creaky bones and whatnot. And so I lay on my bed with my arms up my side, palms up in healing or receiving position. And I have a little music in the background. And then I set the intention. What I want to see happen during this meditation. Okay, so most times it's, I like to have a little peace, or body, mind, spirit healing. Or maybe I'd like to have a discussion with my guides. Or maybe I would like to connect to my higher self with the higher selves of loved ones that you have in the spirit world, But set the intention, and when you do that, now you're ready to meditate. And you're laying there, and now you're thinking about closing the dryer. I'm going to do this next week, and this goes on. And so what we do is we focus on our third eye, and we focus on our breath in and out. I don't know why I say we, but okay, I'm going with it. And focus on your breathing in and out, and that should bring you back into the meditative state. Now, a lot of times I feel like some teachers don't like it when you lay down for meditation because you do fall asleep at first. And you know what? Don't beat yourself up for that. It's okay to fall asleep. Because number one, you set your intention with your guides, and they're still going to be working with you, And so eventually you're going to be able to sustain the meditative state as you progress with your meditation. And let me see here without somebody saying. And so when you're coming out of it, okay, so the first things that you're going to see probably in the meditation are colors. And then maybe you're going to see orbs. And then maybe you're going to see little symbols or spirits somehow. And try not to engage your left brain in that, because when you do that, it's going to pop you right out of your meditative state. So when you see these things on your visual, with your eyes closed during meditation, allow them to go by and try to look at them as they go by. You don't focus on that, And if you do fall asleep at first, and when you realize that you're coming out of the meditation, you're like, I'm falling asleep, right? Don't open your eyes. It's the first thing we want to do, right? When we wake up, open your eyes. And so don't open your eyes. And if you do, quickly close them. And see what else you see on your screen, because things happen as you're coming out of your meditation as well. And if you can only do 5 minutes the first day, go for it. The next day, try to add 5 more minutes. I really would like to see a 20-minute daily meditation practice for everyone. But once you get really good at it, you'll be meditating for 30, 40, 50 minutes. I like it. And so anyone want to talk about their meditation experiences or how they meditate? Yeah? And so I got my final blog here. The other day I saw an armadillo. In Native American medicine, armadillo is about boundaries. Setting appropriate boundaries. It's not the easiest thing to do, especially when you just want to get along and help others. The issue is not everyone wants to get along. They live for drama, they stir the pot, or just want you to fit in a box that works for them. I can't have that in my life anymore. I finally had enough of people's behaviors toward me, so I'm in the process of setting appropriate boundaries, which does take courage. People don't like it when you change because now they must change their ways as well. Most people do not like change. Change is constant. Do what's best for you. You must take care of yourself. My boundaries. I had a situation happen to me not too long ago. And, and I'm not going to go into that right now, but I did set my boundaries, is what I'm going to say. You guys will have to find my blog online and read the rest of it. My boundaries are now set with people and others because the news carries quickly. Trust me when I say it took courage, and I have plenty of that. And here's why. When I worked as a staff writer at a newspaper, I covered city and county government meetings. And what a snooze fest, really. I learned a certain amount of courage when I had a walk to the press table, which was normally up front between those running the meeting and those who had a business on the agenda. I'm telling you, there's no power in there. You're not walking around, you own that place. And so if you think I'm owning a place, no, there's a little something inside of me like, oh, really? And so as, let's see here. So as I was writing this particular blog, I go to my Facebook timeline and some memories popped up. Keep hanging out with yourself until you are you again, unknown. Sweet girl, it wasn't that you weren't enough. It's your energy. It asks others to rise up, and not everyone is going to go where they would grow. Butterflies rising. I love that quote. Before you diagnose yourself with depression or low self-esteem, first make sure that you are not, in fact, just surrounded by and younger. William Gibson. Sometimes being reminded of who are the kids we need make change. Find the courage to be you. And I hope you all enjoyed this day. I really am reading these. And so I hope you join on the website from theethers.com or my YouTube channel, which is also the Ethers. And thank you for your time and attention. Thank you, students.
Should be a plan. Yeah.
Oh, because I'm looking there, I'm like, wait, the two lights are still on. It says green and red. What should I do? Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for coming.